Tell us your secrets yesterday.
Well, we went with a big wheel, and I think we had a good, strong engine, and it felt real good yesterday morning, and we just didn't do a lot to it and didn't put a lot of time on it. We know this course. It seems like a small wheel course, but if you know how to get around some of the turns, you can run a big wheel.
Well, Mike, we should be able to explain to the fans what a big wheel is.
All Joe's referring to there is a larger pitch propeller. Some of the boats will be able to handle that larger pitch propeller, like he said, if they can get around the course properly.
Well, the crowd cheering their favorite son, Bill Seabold, looking for his 6th victory here in the 16-year history of this race in St. Louis. And as the 1-minute gun goes off, 22 boats were scheduled to start on the dock. However, 21 were on the dock, and there was one problem in the pit. Dan Marcellus of Mercury. Dan, tell me exactly what the problem is with Chuck McKay's boat right now.
Well, right now it appears that it's either an EFI box or perhaps a wire that is shorted out in the ignition system. So we're trying to do a quick diagnosis. We're trying to put another EFI box on quick, and we'll see if it lights. Good chance we can get it solved.
All eyes are glued on the official starter, Bob Schubert, as he has the white flag in the air. We're less than 20 seconds to go. And the tension mounts, and the flag is waved, and we're underway. And it's Chris Busch who gets a perfect start off the dock. Bill Seabold having problems. Thibodeau on the outside in the red boat, making progress from 8th position as we watch 22 boats head off into the first turn as they go directly across the course. It's Chris Busch, probably the most daring and talented young driver in the world today. He's charged to the front. He's holding off the Bud Light boat of veteran Bill Seabold, the world's most decorated driver with over 50 world titles, including the 1982 World Championship. Who's right behind, and he's looking for a way to pass. On the outside is Seabold, who led here in 85, and again here in 86, and he failed to win either race. He's trying to strike up the lead once again here in 87 on lap number 2. Busch is showing more finesse through the corners, but it's Seabold with more top end on the straightaway. He's pulling alongside, and he's challenging for the lead.
Well, that higher pitch propeller paid off, it looks like here, Steve. He's able to pull Chris the straightaways, and just the way he's pulling around that turn, I think he's got it handled with that higher pitch propeller.
Seabold, who won the last race on the tour in Minneapolis, is starting to pull away as we watch the boats go through turn number 1. There's Seabold now on the very dangerous backstretch. Look at him go as he's pulled out a 10-boat length lead on Chris Busch, the youngster out of St. Paul, Minnesota. Seabold through turn number 3. Here's Chris Busch coming through a little bit wider. And back into 3rd place is Gene Thibodeau, who started all the way back in 8th. So right now, it's the man from St. Louis, Bill Seabold, in a commanding position, but we've got a long way to go. We'll be back with more right after this.
Kickoff, your fall season right, yeah.
And there you see drivers watching traffic. Chris Busch, who's in 2nd place, had a look to his right, and he saw Guido Campolini and the Stefanel boat get by, and he had to make a decision, and he watched them very closely because the drivers can run into trouble if they're not watching back markers. Well, there's Chuck McKay after 8 laps. Mike, he's finally getting into the race. Well, why would a driver start in the race and he's 8, 9 laps down? Why even bother?
What's the point? Every driver's going for points at each event. And you never know, somebody else could have a problem and drop out, and you could still end up in a higher position.
Well, speaking of higher positions, there's the man in 1st place, Bill Seabold, working his way through traffic. 22 boats started the race this afternoon, and the difference in qualifying between those boats was 21 miles an hour. And here, Bill Seabold on the backstretch is trying to pass the boat number 50, the Redwood. Craig Wynn, one of the many rookies in the race this afternoon, who is driving the old Quaker Paint Mercury-powered 87 Seabold hulls. And there you see Chris Busch is in 2nd place, and Mike, that's a graphic example of the pickup of these boats as he goes from the turning buoy down the back straightaway.
That first setup is so important. You don't normally run the same setup qualifying as you do in the race. When the water gets chopped up, you want to make sure you compensate with propeller, engine height, weight distribution. It's all important for the running of the boat.
Well, a man has made great compensations this afternoon as Bill Seabold, who's out in the lead. He's now passed Craig Wynn, and he's chasing after Scott Gilman, another rookie who was on a large learning curve today here. He's about ready to be lapped by Bill Seabold. There's the man in 3rd place, Gene Thibodeau, a wealth of experience. He's had a couple of great starts this year on the races, but he's had hard luck this year.
Well, he's running for a new team this year, and he's the 86 World Formula One champion, and it's hard to come back after a successful year like that with a new team. He'll get the bugs worked out. He'll be there.
Well, there's Chris Busch in second place. He's 12 seconds back on the leader at this point. This, he has said, is his favorite course. He's been coming here since he was a kid, and he's won 3 MotoGP World Championships in his day. He said yesterday he set the course up a conservative way for the qualifying, but today he is really trying to do his best, but he's having a real problem figuring out how he can get up to Bill Siebold, who really seems to be holding him off at bay.
Well, I think Billy picked the right setup. Like we talked about earlier, propellers, engine height. Chris, he's running well, but I think Billy's just got a little too much top end for him to catch up.
And as we talked about before, this circuit is different here, Mike, and Chris really likes it. It's 4 pins, but they're spread out more. And a little bit different than what the normal IOGP courses are, which are really long and narrow.
Yes, and this course is commonly referred to as a driver's course. The drivers love it. They look forward to this event every year. Everybody sets up a little different for this race.
Well, our leader, Bill Siebold in first, Chris Busch in second, third is Gene Thibodeau, fourth is John Jones, and fifth right now is Steve D'Souza. As we come back, we see the dicing going on for third place here. Jonathan Jones on the outside, the current Honda World Champion, but it's Thibodeau on the inside, making him fight for every inch of the way as they battle for third. And earlier this season, we had a chance to talk with Gene Thibodeau, a man who has more time in safety capsules than any other driver that is out on this course today here in St. Louis. You know, you take a look at the chance now that you have to run in a tunnel boat here in the IOGP Tour. This is really the same type of hull you ran in Formula One, though, a Fresnel Flyer that you raced last year. But the boat's a little shorter. Have you noticed any differences in the controlling of the boat other than the weight in the back so far this year?
Well, the boat actually drives better because you don't have the heavy outboard motor hanging off the back of it. It's a lot looser running boat, and I really enjoy running this style of boat because it's real clean off the water and feels a lot slunkier out of the corners. I really like it.
You know, Gene's a true competitor. He's been around for 17 years. He started in the smaller classes, worked his way up to the big champ class, was winner in 83. A very experienced driver with a lot of cockpit time.
And one of his lesser-known records is the bass boat record he set, going 110 miles an hour in a bass boat record. That was a world record, wasn't it?
Well, trolling for bass at 110 miles an hour is just a little too fast for me.
Well, Thibodeau has had a problem here, battling for fourth place with Steve D'Souza. Steve hit him on the left sponsor, and you can see, Mike, he had problems. He is not going to make it to the shoreline. That boat is going to sink.
Oh, definitely. You can see the whole left side of the boat's gone. He's going down quick.
And the bad luck continues for Thibodeau. We've got more racing from St. Louis when we return right after this. Steve Michael and Mike Butler welcoming you back to the Bud Light World Championship Grand Prix. And there you see our leader, Bill Siebold, driving the Bud Light Mercury-powered Siebold-built hull. He is in first place. Second place is Chris Busch in the STD Mercury-powered Castleberry's entry. And up to third is Jonathan Jones driving the Shipwatch Burgess machine. And in fourth place is Steve D'Souza. And there you see Julio Corbetta of Brazil, who is working his way around as we go back to Chris Busch. And Busch is trying to make some noise. And there's a problem for Buck Thornton, who is up to fifth place. He has steered a buoy, and he's being penalized to lap. What a shame for him. Well, let's take a break from the Champ Boat Racing. And earlier today, we had a chance to see one of the exciting classes on the IOGP Tour, the Mod VPs. And we talked with the man who is leading the points chase right now, Rusty Campbell.
Strategy things it's been all year. We're going to get out front as fast as we can. Hopefully beat Charlie and Allen and Chip and 12 other guys to the dock. 11, however many. And try to get out front and stay out front. Allen will be fast on top end. We hope the rough water will play in our hands just as it did in Sacramento.
Rusty will be starting third on the dock today. The man on the pole, Alan Stoker from Santa Ana, California. The 1-minute gun has been sounded. Alan, a great place to be on the pole today for the Mod VP race. It's not unfamiliar territory to you. You've been there, 3 of the last 4 years, I believe, here at St. Louis.
Yeah, Steve, we've been fortunate enough to qualify on the pole 3 out of the last 4, the last couple of years straight. Well, it's just working good, and we like this course and can get around it quick.
15 boats will be starting this race this afternoon. Stoker on the pole. Charlie Anderson, who won his heat race yesterday, Mike, looked very good.
Rusty Campbell then comes in qualifying third. Chip Watkins is fourth.
In the fifth spot, Richie Junker out of Florida. Sixth is Ted Greikick out of Ontario. Bear Davies and Gary Tuttle, who has raced here before.
Ninth place goes to Roger Meekins in that Hydrostream boat. 10th is Harry Trieg. 11th goes to Drew Davies, and 12th is John Costelli.
Starting 13th is Billy Wagster, who started sixth here a year ago. Larry Davis. And then finally Greg Foster out of California, who started here a season ago in third place. He had problems in his qualifying heat yesterday. We're just seconds away from the start. The flag is up, and we're underway. And Alan Stoker stalls at the dock, and the boats head off into the first turn 10. It looks like it's Charlie Anderson battling side by side with Rusty Campbell.
Well, Charlie's running a new boat here in St. Louis. He switched after Augusta, went to the Mirage Hull. I think he feels a little bit more comfortable with it, and it's very obvious he qualified second.
Well, we watch the boats as they come through the first turn, heading down that back straightaway. And there you can see Charlie Anderson on the left. Watch him as he starts to really air out that boat, Mike. That's unbelievable.
Oh, he's flying it high. That boat is really loose. He's on the ragged edge. He could, just one puff of wind and he could go on his back.
Drivers side by side as Campbell comes through turn number 3 the first time. And Charlie Anderson skids wide. It looks like he went over the wake of Rusty Campbell's boat.
I don't think he got caught up in Rusty's wake. He was just totally aired out coming down that backstretch. And with the engine trimmed out so high, it seemed to set the boat to the turn. And it looked like the gear case broke loose from the water, causing the nose to drop in. And it upset the boat going to the turn.
A lot of drivers having problems coming through after the first lap. And 15 boats in the starting field.
Well, the Mod VPs, you'll notice, are quite a bit different than the Stamps. They're fiberglass hull versus a wood boat in the Stamp. The concept of this class several years ago when it was started was to take a production-type boat and go racing with it. And as you can see today, the Merc 200 is the engine of preference.
Rusty Campbell is still out in the lead. He has won 3 of the first 4 races in this series this year. He has never won at St. Louis, and this would be a big thing for him if he could.
And there's that turn 3. You know, we talked about that earlier. And you can see the way the boats are coming through there. That's very demanding. You got to be on your toes 100% of the time.
And Mike, it's almost like driving down a dark tunnel. And there you see a driver who had a problem with a buoy. Larry Davis driving the AAA sign company Bob Crawford Racing Machine. Is right now stopped. He had to take the buoy off the sponson before he can get back into this race again. So he's lost a lot of time here. And we've reached lap number 9 with Rusty Campbell, your leader. In second place, Charlie Anderson. Third place now is Alan Stoker, who had started back in last place after he had stalled on the dock. He is moving up. Richie Junker, who started 5th, is down to 4th. Chip Watkins now in 5th in the California Gold Machine. Mike, there you take a look at Alan Stoker, one of 2 boats in the race today with a safety fill.
Yeah, Alan came out with that capsule last year. I believe Havas was the first time he ran it. And since then, he put the capsule in Chip's boat, and they're the only 2 Mod VPs that are running the safety cell.
They were both built by Alan Stoker. Last year they finished 1-2 in this race. At the moment, they're 3-4 here this afternoon.
That was a big win for Fred Bowden last year. He ended up being the world champion. And Chip Watkins now is running his boat this year, and he's doing pretty well with it.
It was a tremendous victory last year for Fred Bowden. He started 19th on the dock before he came up with that big victory. And today, there are 10 of 15 drivers in the lineup that were in that race a year ago.
There's one of them, Canadian Ted Greigick, running an SPV. He's currently in 7th place.
The drivers out here today are really the cream of the crop because yesterday they had 2 elimination heats, taking the field down from 21 to 15. And that seems to be the standard practice here at St. Louis year after year. Large fields of boats show up, and they try not to do this, and that's Drew Davis, who spins out in turn number 3, and he has to go back around the buoy. As you can see, Alan Stoker coming up on him, but I got a feeling he's going to be fine for that, Mike.
No, he's not going to be fined for that. He just missed the buoy. What he did is he spun out. All he had to do was go around and pick it back up and continue racing.
And that drops him farther down in the field as we carry on here. Rusty Campbell on the back stretch, trying to fight off the charges of Charlie Anderson and Alan Stoker. And here is Chip Watkins in the California Gold Machine as he works his way through this maze. And it's amazing to watch these drivers trying to get visibility through all this spray, Mike.
Well, it is a difficult time when you're behind boats and going through the traffic. And there you see Chip Watkins. He was behind Billy Wagster, looked like there, and he just dropped in a hole and both stood on its side.
Watkins quickly recovers, turns back, and makes sure he doesn't hit any of the oncoming boats, and now tries to pick up the speed. And for a driver, when this does happen, what does this do to his concentration level?
Well, it's going to interrupt it, but you can't let it bother you. You got to get back in the race, get in that groove, get back out there because you've got a long way to go before the end of the race.
Our leader, Rusty Campbell, swings it wide. He's got a second lead on second place. And oh, how dearly he would love to win here at St. Louis. There's a problem with Chip Watkins. He barrel rolls in turn number 3. And there again, Michael, turn number 3 is the problem turn on this race course, it seems like.
Well, like we said before, turn 3 has always been at St. Louis the problem turn.
And according to the UIM rules, this race is over. Rusty Campbell has come up with a victory.
Well, the final decision is up to the referee, but officially a race can be called after half the laps have been completed.
And a wet ending there for Chip Watkins as he hangs onto his boat, but a very happy day for Rusty Campbell. He comes back with the victory. He has won now 4 of the 5 races this year. He is the world champion.
Oh, I'm really happy for Rusty. Last year he had to fill in for Chris Busch, 3-time world champion. He did a good job, a little inconsistent. He finished second overall, though. This year, you can tell his driving style has improved. I like the way he's running that boat.
Hats off to Rourke Summerford. He spent over 100 hours working just on the bottom end of that boat. Maybe last year a little weak in the rough water, but this year it was the strongest boat on the tour in rough water. And what a happy day for Castleberry Foods in their first big year of sponsorship here on the IOGP Tour, and they come up with a world champion. And I know Mr. McDavid at Castleberry's will be really happy. Last year it was Rusty Campbell finishing second in 4 of the 5 races that he completed. And they gave him the tag around the pit, always a bridesmaid, never a bride. And we caught up with him down on the dock. Well, here he is, your newly crowned world champion for 1987 in the Mod VP's Rusty Campbell out of Augusta, Georgia. Rusty, it's been a long time at Bruin. You can now put away that second-place bridesmaid thing, and you're now the champion. Congratulations, you're number 1.
Thank you very much. And one final word, I want to thank Castleberry's STV for sticking with me all summer and Mercury Outboards for helping us and giving advice along the way.
The first one crowned here on the 1987 IOGP Tour, Rusty Campbell out of Augusta, Georgia, the new world champion in Mod VP. Welcome back to the exciting camp boat race here this afternoon on the Bud Light World Championship Grand Prix. Steve Michael and Mike Butler with you. Chris Busch taking it wide through turn number 3. We have reached lap number 20, and Busch continues to sit in second place. He and Bill Seabold are having a cat-and-mouse game. It seems like Busch is looking over to see if he can move up, and Seabold is keeping a close eye. I don't think Billy wants to take all of his boat out early. There's Buck Thornton, the ship's watch. You can see he's still got that buoy on the pickle. It cost him $100 and the lap for hitting it. We might as well keep it. And there's a disappointment for all St. Louis fans. The man who won here a year ago, Mike Seabold, it looks like he's out of the race.
He's pulling off the course, so he must be done for the day.
In the Mod VP race that we saw earlier, Larry Davis pulled over and pulled the buoy off his sponsor. Now, why doesn't Buck do that in this race?
Well, it'll be a little tough for Buck to stop, unhook himself from the restraining straps in the cockpit, get out of the boat, take the buoy off, get back in and get strapped down. Too much time lost.
Now, as Buck steps in for the turn here, the boat drops down. Do you think that buoy that's on the front sponson causing a problem with aerodynamics?
Well, it would down the straightaway, but I don't think it's bothering him in the turn. And really, with the buoy stuck on there, it doesn't look like it's slowing down a heck of a lot in the top end.
And problems continue to plague Mike Seabold. He is sitting down on the front dock right now. Well, with such a storybook finish, this gentleman here a year ago, 1986, Mike Seabold, you can see his race, and his chance for winning this afternoon is gone. Qualified 12th, he hasn't been able to get this Bud Light boat in the position where he wanted to all weekend long. He's been struggling with it, and this is what's happened to him here. Halfway home, the boat sits on the dock. So while his father is out in the lead, son Michael is sitting here in the pit, waiting to go back out again, very, very disappointed. The fans still have something to cheer about. The other half of the Bud Light team, Father Bill, still out in the lead, expanding on his lead at the moment against Chris Busch. He is now ahead of him by 16 seconds.
That's a pretty good lead, and I doubt very much if Chris is going to be able to make that up. The way Billy's running the boat, you can't get a tunnel boat to run any better than the way he's handling it right now.
Siebold won his first race here in St. Louis back in 1975. He has won a bushload since then. The last 2 years he was out in first place. However, he didn't finish the race in first.
So last year he finished second to son Mike, and Michael's also won this race 5 times.
Well, a very unique driver on this tour. Jim McKay not only runs in the SSTs, but he also runs in the Tempos, but he's having a problem today. Jim McKay, the man from Modesto, California, who had qualified 7th, is sitting here for the second time this afternoon. He has problems too, and he's having a talk right now with his crew chief, Linus Alden. All of a sudden, the boat started sounding a little peculiar after the first 10 laps, and he started dropping back. McKay was holding his own. And remember, he's a driver that races not only the champ, but also the SST 140s, races very well today.
Interesting sidelight to McKay and a couple other drivers out here. If they're running 2 classes, what they do is they'll run, like Jim, running SST 140. After that class is done, he'll come in, change the power head, and go back out there and run champ.
Well, Chris Busch, you see on the screen, in a lonely position. He's in second place right now. He's a half a lap behind our leader, Bill Siebold, and 3 laps both in front of the third place battle going on right now between Jonathan Jones and Steve D'Souza.
They're sorting out there again, and I think he made the right decision not to stop and leave that buoy on, because now he's still in 5th position.
Thornton is right behind Steve D'Souza. He's actually starting to gain on him a little bit with that buoy sitting on the spot. We have reached lap 29, 21 laps to go. Your leader, Bill Siebold, in front of this tremendous crowd here in St. Louis. Well over 50,000 enjoying the racing this afternoon at the Bud Light World Championship. So we've got VIPs in attendance. We got a chance to talk to the Vice President of Engineering at Mercury, Bill Kaska. Bill, the racer count, he's got to be excited about that. Over 70 boat racers showed up this weekend here at St. Louis. A lot of them didn't qualify to get here. This is why it's got to be special here.
Well, Steve, a lot of the boat racers talk about St. Louis the way the automotive people talk about Indianapolis. So I think that's what we've got here in St. Louis, and it's been going on a long time.
And the strides for Mercury down the road. Hopefully we can get more and more racers that get this many boats out, and it looks like it's going to happen in the near future.
Well, Steve, I think you've been to more of the races this year than I have, and from all the feedback I'm getting has all been successful. All the drivers are very happy, and I think next year is even going to be bigger and better.
Bill, always a pleasure to have you here, and I know you're a busy man. Thanks for visiting with us.
Okay, Steve.
Plenty of boat racing to come. We'll be back right after this.
Here are the world's most beautiful Christmas recordings to enrich your family's holiday season. You get 50 famous recording stars and 50 of the most loved Christmas songs of all time. And here they are. Imagine every one of these 50 renowned stars are included. You get all 50 timeless songs. Recordings of irresistible charm.
And since we've no place to go, let us go, let us go, let us go. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Oh, come all ye faithful. The most beautiful Christmas recordings ever made. Here is all the spirit of Christmas for you and those you love. Oh, beloved Christmas favorites. For the first time, they're all yours on 3 records, 3 cassettes, or 3 8-track tapes. And the price, just $19.98. Christmas delivery guaranteed. Be sure to order now. To save COD fees, have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-792-1200. 1-800-792-1200. Or send 1998-250 Christmas favorites. Box 3817, Grand Central Station, New York, New York, 10163. You must...
Tour. We have completed 33 laps, and we see Steve D'Souza, who is entwined in a great battle for third place right now, going on with Jonathan Jones.
You know, it's taken D'Souza's easy loader 28 laps to get by Jones, and battling out for that long, it's got to be tough on you. Billy's out there by himself, not a whole lot of competition bothering him yet, and here's D'Souza and Jones going at it for 28 laps. That's tiring. And Bill has had a tough time with the man in front of him, Jim Johnson, who finished a year ago fourth here. It's been tough for him to work his way around, and you can see the traffic that's going on. Some taking the inside route, some going the outside, and different speeds on these boats. While this exciting battle continues to go on, let's take a break for a minute and go to our third exciting class of the afternoon, the SST 140. The SST 140s are very similar to the Champ. They're often referred to as the training ground for the Champ class. The boats are similar. They're wood hulls, 17, 18 foot in length, run externally a very similar engine to the Champ. Internally, they're different. Basically a stock 200 power head on the racing gear case. The speeds are about 10 to 15 miles an hour slower than the Champ. That doesn't mean it's an entry-level class, as the speeds are still around 115 miles an hour. And most of the drivers have moved up through the ranks of the smaller classes, gaining valuable experience along the way. What's the ground floor or entry level for somebody who wants to get into tunnel boat racing? Well, there's a few different classes they can get into. Speeds will range anywhere from 60 to 70, 80 miles an hour. And as they progress along, they'll gain that experience, like I said, so they can move up to the faster 115, 120, 125 mile an hour classes like SST and Champ. 15 boats have qualified for the race this afternoon, and the fastest man of those 15 is the gentleman from Rockford, Illinois, who's leading the point standing, Terry Leatherby.
40 seconds, drivers. Well, it felt good. Anytime you can beat Harley first, it really does feel well. I'm not sure. I haven't been number one pole at St. Louis for a long time, and I'm not sure it's more nerve-wracking being on number one than it is back in the middle of the pack somewhere.
Of course, Terry talking about Harley. That's Harley Wilson, the two-time world champion in this class, who has won 2 races already this season in Augusta and Quad Cities. There's the lineup for the top 15. Leatherby on the pole, Tim Seabold in second, David Lee with a revolutionary new boat that we're going to talk about, Harley Wilson 4. And fifth is Ron Jarrell out of Arkansas, Chuck Riley out of California in 6th, Jim McKay also from California in 7th, and Jay Price in 8th. Drivers from coast to coast here this afternoon. Gerald Kowalski out of Michigan, Rick Adamczyk out of New York, Kevin Miller out of Florida, and Lee Holden out of California. I'm a little surprised the Miller brothers qualified so low, with Mark in 13th, Ken Davis in 14th, Jim Oltang out of Wisconsin in 15th, and the alternate, David Annis. So we'll have 15 boats starting from the dock with David Annis waiting on the side, and the white flag is up. Official starter Bob Schubert ready to drop the flag any second now. All eyes glued on the flag, and we're underway as we watch a combined total of 3,000 horsepower breaking away from the dock to head down into pit number 1. And we wait to see which driver will get the clear lane to get out in front of the rest of the field. Side by side, there's Leatherby on the outside. Our pole sitter, Tim Seabold in California Gold, and that's Seabold Bill House on the inside. And we hope that all boats get through clearly at the traffic jam, and it looks like they have, as it's Terry Leatherby on the outside, taking the lead here from Tim Seabold. Now we'll wait, Michael, to see who can cut this corner quickly and grab the advantage to this tough turn number 3. They went through it together. Terry gave Timmy the inside, but I think he's got a little top end on him. Could pull him down the front stretch here. Leatherby steps the boat up as he heads down the front straightaway. Clear water at the moment. Look at the way he's got the boat set up. The boat is running beautiful. Very little bit of the water. The gear case is absolutely colored, and about the last 6-8 inches of the boat. Man from Rockford, Illinois, taking a look around and see where Seabold is behind him. And it's Leatherby, who's starting to stretch it out. He trips through turn number 3. Tim Seabold's looking good in California Gold. This is his first year in SST at St. Louis. Normally would run Mod VP in years past. And David Lee, the newcomer, coming out of retirement, I may add. David won 1976 in the SJ class. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the first time he's been back to St. Louis since then. Well, Lee, the native out of Coleman, Alabama, up into 3rd place. He started 3rd, and he's driving the Shipswatch lead boat that he built himself, and he's a tremendous battle right now for 3rd place. There you see Harley Wilson. Harley on the inside, or in the middle, actually, and on the outside is Jim McKay. Lee able to hold him off right now. This is a great battle developing. We sure can't count out Harley Wilson driving that Totalist boat. And back to our leader, Terry Leatherby. He has stretched his margin out to 10 seconds. Over this man, Tim Seabold, who is sitting in 2nd place. Seabold trying to figure out the right formula to
to get up and move past Terry Leatherby, who's out in first place. Leatherby, by the way, won one race a year ago. He has won one race this year, but he's the points leader on the IOTP Tour for FSTs. And you can see him now coming up through traffic. Decision time for the leader here.
You're right, it's decision time for Leatherby's track and race. He's got to decide, do I go inside these back markers or do I go outside?
And at that speed, anything can happen. And incredibly, we've lost our leader. Terry Leatherby barrel rolls in turn number 3. He gets up, he's okay. And you can see him standing there with the boats going around. Our leader is out of this race.
Here we have a classic example of a loss of concentration. Terry had a substantial lead over Tim Seabold. He's coming down the back stretch. He's coming up on 2 back markers. He's going into turn 3, and he doesn't know what to do, to go on the inside of Alting or on the outside, and he tries to go inside, gets hooked up in his wake, and loses it. Barrel rolls. He's out of the race.
This SST 140 race has taken a dramatic turn here after 7 laps. It was Terry Leatherby, the points leader, who had a gigantic 8-second lead over Tim Seabold, who's behind us here in the California Gold Boat. However, Leatherby, who tried to make a pass on turn number 3, had problems, and he flipped the boat over. Terry's okay, but now it's up to this man behind us here, Tim Seabold, for the California Gold Team, the local driver, to get out in front and grab the lead and hopefully come home with a victory today here in front of his home fans here in Fenton, Missouri. What a great thing for Tim Seabold now to try to show off in front of his fans. He has a great chance now in this race. He is starting first on the dock, and we're underway, and we start the restart here in the SST 140, and Seabold and David Lee are going to be the two that go side by side here. Well, Seabold on the outside. Lee trying to pick up more momentum. He has found a lane, and it'll be David Lee that'll come through the first 10 turns. And it's Seabold on the outside. Seabold now challenging David Lee on the outside.
One of the interesting things about Lee's boat is it's a composite boat. It's the only boat out there that's not a wooden hull in the SST class.
And David Lee, the leader, floats his boat wide out of turn number 3. He has got a 3-boat advantage on this field as we have completed 1 lap on our restart here in the SSTs. And everybody else coming through the pack, jockeying for positions here. Very important, Mike, in this first lap to set a pace up and try to make hay, as they say, as quickly as possible.
Now, it's a difficult part of the race, the first lap. You got all those boats going in the turn together. With all the spray there, it's a difficult time in the race.
Further on in the race, lap 23, we pick it up. David Lee continuing to lead here. Remarkable for this man, coming out of retirement, driving his own boat for the first time really in professional competition today. So it's Lee in first place, Jim McKay out of Modesto, California. In second place, third is Timmy Seabold, and in fourth is Dave Price, the driver from Louisiana. David Lee on the backstretch makes the turn. He's being challenged on the inside now by Jim McKay. McKay, who won in Jacksonville on the first race of the IOGP Tour, is trying to make a move on the inside, and it now is fourth. David Lee to the outside.
Well, Jim took the inside line there. He got tied up in traffic, and David got by him again going into 1.
Here's McKay now as they go toe-to-toe, and they've got some traffic to maneuver through. A very busy circuit here at St. Louis, and they're going to fight the battle tooth and nail, side by side through the spray as they continue to come up on back markers. We'll see which driver is able to maneuver better through traffic. There was a problem down here early in the race. We lost our leader, and it's Jim McKay who makes the move, and now he starts to power away from David Lee. What happened?
He got by David. You know, David's coming back after a number of years of retirement, and McKay's been running all year long. He just had the edge.
And McKay really stretching out the margin here as we go into the final lap. Jim McKay on the backstretch has eliminated the competition behind him. McKay very much having it his own way this afternoon. In the final lap, he makes the turn. He has just one more turn to make, and he'll win here in the SST race in St. Louis. But not everything is the way it seems, Mike, as it looks like there was a problem with McKay's engine in the legality department in inspection.
Yes, the inspectors ruled that his engine was not to specification, but there is an appeal pending.
And David Lee, who finished behind him on the water, however, was penalized for hitting a couple of buoys, and that drops him down. And the winner is Tim Seabold out of St. Louis. He picks up his first win of the year. We'll be back with Camp Boat Racing when we return right after this. World Championship Grand Prix here from St. Louis, Missouri. Steve Michael, Mike Butler with you. And we're in the waning laps of the 50-lap affair this afternoon. And there's the man in the lead, the 36-year racing veteran out of St. Louis, driving the Bud Light Mercury-powered Seabolt Bill Hull in first place. He's a half a lap ahead against young Chris Busch, who has a win on this tour so far. Bill Seabolt, however, fifth in the standings with a win today, Mike. He's going to really move up.
Well, if he wins today, that'll put him in second place in the overall standing. And this could be a sixth win. And right now, the way he's running, barring any problems, there's no way Busch is going to catch him.
Chris Busch a half a lap behind, but he's our current IOGP points leader. He's got to be pleased he's in second place, and he's going to keep adding to his point total with one race remaining here in the season.
That's right. He's in first place right now, and he knows if he can finish second here, he's still going to retain that lead. But Seabolt's a close second.
Well, the Castleberry Food Entry Mercury-powered STG hull of Chris Busch, who enjoys working on snowmobiles in the wintertime, but in the summertime he enjoys the water unfrozen. He likes to run on top of it.
His passion is boat racing. He does like to play with snowmobiles, but he does work on his engine most all year long.
Busch, who had the unfortunate accident a year ago in Germany, which slowed up his progress in this class. He had won at Bristol last year, and he snapped Bill Seabolt's 6th year in a row winning reign at that race course. So he won the famed Duke of York Trophy. They love him in England. But his assignment here this afternoon is to try to catch up to Bill Seabolt, who is a half a lap ahead of him, and Chris Busch is just running out of time.
Oh, I don't think there's any catch to Seabolt. But you got to hand it to Busch. He stayed in there. He qualified second. He's running a darn hard race, and I give him credit.
Well, Bill Seabolt has one more corner to go, and he'll win the World Championship boat race here this afternoon from St. Louis. We'll be back to talk to him when we return right after this. Well, it's turned out to be a great day for the Bud Light race team and Seabolt Racing crew this afternoon. B.B. Crum, the crew chief, Ken Gapp, and all the rest of them that worked so hard during the year to get the Seabolt crew out on the winning ways. And there you see the final standings this afternoon. And as we mentioned, Chris Busch finishing second, and in third place was Steve D'Souza, who came up with a great race himself today. Well, he finished second a year ago. He won the race this afternoon. The native out of Granite City, Illinois, is down on the dock. The winner today, Bill Seabolt. Well, it's a great day for Bill Seabolt. He is now 2 for 2 on the IOGP Tour. Another 400 points. First Minneapolis, and then this weekend you're marching up the calendar, and you're going to be up there in the points race with Chris Busch. It should be a grand ending in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We wanted some points for our World Tour, and IOGP, we're right at the top now, so let's make good racing when it's down to the last race.
It's got to feel great. You're on the roll as you come down to the end of the season.
We're on a roll. We hope it just holds out.
We'll be back for our final wrap-up here from St.